you know, leads people by his action. Then a manager work with group, while in leadership, a leader work with the team. A manager do the right thing, while a leader is always working to do things right. You know, there's a marked difference between doing the right thing and doing things right. These are the three basic cardinals, I would say, of a true leadership, which is skill, knowledge, and attitude. Now, to be a true leader, is required that a leader from the other table we have, you know, he works with the team. So a true leader is someone who builds skill over time, you know. So it's a conscious and deliberate effort, you know. Like I said earlier, that my paradigm shift of asking people to work, you know, being an entrepreneur is a process of building skill and knowledge. You know, these are is a process of building these two: the skill required in leadership and knowledge. Then attitude is also one of the major cardinals of good leadership. You know, having right positive attitude. And I also always say that your attitude determines your altitude. How far you can go in life is a function of your attitude. And when we talk about attitude, your attitude towards your partners, your attitude towards your colleague, your staff, your attitude towards your clients, you know, your neighbors, everyone around you, you know, are essential in true leadership. Preparing for leadership position, these are very important criteria, I would say. Your package, this is very important. Your package, you know, someone said that you don't have a second chance to make a first impression. You know, the way people see you, the way you are addressed, and say the way you dress, the way you are addressed. You know, so there is a way a true leader, a Christian leader, a resourceful leader, his package is low. I mean, it's an entire, you know, well, that's the word, his entire package, you know, in terms of dressing, in terms of his comportment, in terms of his approach, you know. So your personal, okay, I can also say this package as your personal brand, how people perceive you, you know. So preparing for leadership, you know, one of the simplest thing to do in terms of getting the right package is looking for a true leader, you know, not the kind of celebrity leader that is all, you know, pervading the mind of people, but a true leader, you know. And you know, someone said, if you don't know how to be successful, look for a successful man, you know, replicate him 100%. You can be sure of 70-80% success. And you know that when you write an exam and you score 80%, it's already a distinction. Then you can get 20% yourself. So this package we're talking about is something that you must curtail by looking at leaders, a leader or leaders as role model, and look at their package. You know, how do they present themselves? You know, do they is there everywhere they go, as they get to the airport, they take pictures and send it on social media? What are the things, you know, they showed how do they comport themselves? So that's very important. Then your confidence level. Now, your confidence level is directly related to your skill and knowledge. When you are skillful in an area, your confidence level would increase. So I can say there is a direct correlation between confidence level and skill and knowledge. So when you increase in knowledge, your confidence level will increase. So, and these are part of the preparation, apart from your package, your confidence level. So this is an internal factor, which is a function of knowledge, and skill level, your enthusiasm. You have to be enthusiastic about what you're doing. That energy, that positive energy must be there, and that's part of the, you can call it charisma of a leader. Then your passion, which I would say is the food and drink of life. You must be passionate, because as a leader, every other person is looking up to you. So if your passion level is low, the passion level of the entire team will be low. Using the Emerging Leaders platform as an example, this is not the first year, this is not the second year. I know Mr. Nelson is very passionate. Each time we see, he talks about this as a contribution to the life of people. So he's passionate, he's enthusiastic about it. I'm using this as an example. So what we are called to lead cannot be in the back burner of your being. And passion is the engine through which ventures, organization thrive. So it has to be something that is done out of passion. Then your emotional intelligence skill is also part of the required skill that is for a leader, to have. It's a must for a leader to have. Leadership as a decision. Every organization, team, or political party needs someone to inspire, unite, empower people to achieve great things. So this is telling us as the more of why is there a need for a leader. So we need to look at this closely, that as a leader, you may not have anybody to motivate you, apart from maybe your role model, but people within your team, people you are expected to lead, expect you to inspire, unite, empower them to do great things. So getting into leadership is a decision. Is a desire, must be born out of desire, and that's what God sees and reward the individual. Then the important traits of highly effective transformational leader: ability to inspire and motivate, good communication skills, be open and honest and courageous. Now, the ability to inspire and motivate can be learned. It's because the question I've always had around this is that how do I gain this ability? Is something that consciously can be by reading books, by listening to other resource persons. You get words that inspire people. You develop your own quotes that ministers to you, that sings in you. I say this to myself: I can acquire what I desire if I perspire and do not retire. I make it a form quote to myself, and I transfer it into how I help people that work around me, you know, that you can acquire this if you don't give up. You know, the way to the top, the way to the top is always uphill. The bottom is too crowded. See you at the top. You know, now these are it's not just in words, you know, but you must also be well inspired and motivated to be able to inspire other people. If you are demotivated, you know, you cannot motivate other people. You know, Bible says that iron sharpeneth iron. So iron cannot sharpen wood. Wood cannot sharpen wood. But an iron, you know, the Bible says that David encouraged himself in the Lord. So a leader must be someone who finds motivation in books, in the word of God, in other people who are well motivated, you know, who are not always negative, you know. So it's also a function of your company, you know, that makes you to be highly motivated. And communication skill also can be learned. You know, like I also would say that the work of a leader or a manager of a leader is 70%, 80% communication. You know, so if you aspire to be a leader, you must, you know, learn the hard skill. You know, it used to be called soft skills. That one of the soft skills is communication, but communication is an essential skill for a leader. You know, so in wherever you are found now, it must be such that you are deliberately getting this knowledge. You know, you are getting the skill, communication skill, you know, ability to be able to write memo, write proposal, talk to people. Now, because we are talking about public sector engagement. Now, before getting into details about engaging directly in public sector, you know, or engaging generally in business, both in public and private sector, you must be able to push out your idea. You know, you must be able to communicate the idea. You must be able to communicate your thoughts, you know, and even apart from communicating your thoughts, you must be able to relate with people in a manner whereby you are accepted. You know, people find this more easy, more convenient, more comfortable in relating and doing business with someone who they are comfortable with, they are free with, who communicates well. And be open and honest and be courageous. So these two, first two, openness and honesty, are social capital that are not found in the streets. You know, but as Christian leaders, these are virtues that must make us, you know, I always say this, that even a thief wants an honest banker. You know, so people look at these things, you know, are interested in this thing as for people that they want to deal with. Let me jump a bit. Business leadership as a mission. We apply the philosophy of mission leadership to drive superior business performance. Mission leadership is truly holistic approach to business execution and starts with understanding the aspirational vision of the organization. Once an organization has clarity on where it's going, each individual must understand what is my role in achieving this. You know, we have talked about business leadership as a decision first, and we're also looking at the philosophy of mission leadership to drive superior business performance. You know, now it's just clearly about setting clear goals. You know, Bible says that that's Habakkuk 2 said, write the vision and make it plain, for they that run with it will run fast. You know, now leadership, or a true leader, must hold a clear vision. must be able to illustrate the vision, in a clear term that is not ambiguous for others to be able to buy in, and be able to understand what is my role in achieving this, so it's very important, to as we're aspiring and we're working into sharpening our leadership skill, to in whatever we have found ourselves to be doing or to be leading, to document our goal, to document the vision, such that people that are brought our way there are no conflicts. The environment is properly defined, and people can work, and people can support the mission once it is clear. That's why Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. So one of the goal, or one of the responsibility of leadership or the leader, is to write down the goal, is to write down the vision. So in whatever is being committed to our hearts to do, in terms of business leadership, our goal, our mission and vision, of the organization needs to be clear, for people to be able to fit in appropriately. Integrity School of Leadership, I call it, leadership is a combination of strategy and character. And I said, if you must be without one, be without strategy. This is very, very important. Of course, it's important to have strategy. Strategic leadership, strategic management are very classic form of thoughts now. In every business school, you learn business strategy, but character is what defines you and who you are. So you must be able to mix good character with strategy, to be able to form what is called integrity. Like the illustration I made earlier, that you must have walked before you start, you must have been crawling before you start walking, before you start flying. We are talking about public sector engagement, and is in the knowledge, or is in the know that government is the biggest spender. When you're talking about public sector engagement, you are talking about securing contracts. I'm talking about doing carrying a particular idea into the public domain. That is the government cycle, that they can buy into it and can become either a state, a national, or you're relating with an international organization, like you said, World Bank, DFID, and you want them to partner with you on a particular concept or idea you have. Now, strategy is key. How do I present this to them? What kind of proposal is selling? How do I illustrate for them to say, okay, this is something we can key into, and also character, is also very, very important. And I say this, there's a lot of people who have run an NGO in their briefcase, where they sometimes have been able to meet with a funder who has given something little and say, let's see what you can do. And that particular grant or donation has just ended in solving personal problem, and there's nothing to show for it. And such organization cannot move to the next level, and that's where that's about character here. There has been individuals who have been given small supply or something to do, and the quality that is delivered is not according to what has been specified in the bid of making so much profit in the first contract or assignment that is given. And this talks about character. Now the strategy is there to be able to market, to be able to go in, penetrate, and get people to agree to patronize the organization. But the test of character, in terms of the promptness of delivery, I say, okay, I'm going to deliver in 2 weeks or in 2 days, and in 4 days they are still calling. I say I'm coming, and giving different excuses. Now, so character, I said, if you must be without one, be without strategy. Of course, strategy will get you there, but character will retain you there. I'll say that again. Strategy will get you there. So for you to get there, you must have strategy. So it's important to have strategy. So because through that strategy, you will not get there, or you might not get there, or you can get there by chance. But what will keep you there, is character. And this is what I call the integrity school. Said good name is better than silver and gold. The public sector people are afraid. We hear this a lot, that there is so much corruption in government in Nigeria. There's so much corruption. But you, as a businessman, if an assignment is given to you, do you do it to the letter? Do you do it as expected? So it is the character, because I said this also earlier, that even a thief wants an honest banker. The people who are always often criticized as being corrupt, they are even afraid of businessmen. And I'm saying this practically, I'm saying this very, very practically, where people have been given one project or the other, or an idea has been sponsored in terms of a grant or a support, and okay, let me be practical also again. Now there is an organization, I'm sure that all of us will know them, Oracle, that supports us, and we run projects and programs. They support us, not they used to say, they support us in our program, and before now, if we have a program, they give you a support, a grant for the program before the program. But lately, they only give you, starting from last year, if you have a program, what they give you is a promissory note, moving forward. They will only release the fund to you after the program. And to tell you the simple reason why they are changed to adopt a promissory note and a disbursement after the program is that they have found out that many organizations that have come to them for support, after getting the support, never carried out any program. They will be chasing them for reports, and the report will never come. So they have come to the decision to only support and only disburse after the program has been successfully completed. So you look for your money, and they promise, okay, I will give you this when you have done this that you say you are going to do. So the strength of the school of integrity and character, like I said, strategy will get you there, but character would sustain you there. And I said, don't promise what you cannot deliver. Because leadership is a journey. You cannot be a leader for one day. It's something that you must be able, our word must be our bond. What we say, in project management, we are taught that you must meet and expect and exceed your client's expectation. So we must also employ project management knowledge, ideals into our form of leadership, of making sure that we rather under promise and over deliver but not over-promise and under-deliver. Because like I said, leadership is a journey. Strategy will get you there, and character would make sure that you remain there. I say the MIS of potential leader is maturity. One, you have to grow up to go up. So in terms of maturity, your comportment, the way you talk, the way you address people, you must do what elders. You must curtail the ideals of maturity, basically. Then initiative is one of the potential of leadership. You have to get up to go up, so you have to be initiative, basically. Then sacrifice, you have to give up, to go up, sacrifice. Everybody here today now is sacrificing time, while other people are maybe watching Arsenal. I don't know whether there's any match that's being played, or in the mall, or doing some other things, which of course they are good when they are good, but the your sacrifice is one of the requirements, of becoming a leader. Like I said earlier, when I hear people that say they are self-made, I wonder that, did you teach yourself in primary school? So this sacrifice of time is part of what is required in leadership, because you must know what your team members don't know. You must, to be a leader, you must even have the knowledge to be able to gather the right team that will make you succeed in the position which you are leading. So the qualities of a good leader, I said diligent, hard work, and energetic. I've said that earlier. Hard work in my definition is not doing something that is hard, something that is difficult. That's not my own understanding of hard work. Hard work is simply doing what you need to do when you need to do it. Waking up early to do what you need to do when you need to do it. It is what I term, as hard work. When you need to work till late, and when you need to work extra time, I always will say this as, for you to get anything extra in life, you must be doing something that is extra. There's something extra you are doing must either be being positive or negative. But of course, as Christian leaders, we would always be doing something extra that is positive. Knowledgeable, being versatile. For you to lead other people, you must have skill set, you must have knowledge to make people believe that you know what you're saying about, you're talking about. Because as a leader, many times you'll be required to make presentations. Sometimes it's even an elevator pitch, something, a quick summary of everything your proposition is all about. So you come and say, Mr. Oworu, what can you do for us? You're not starting from, okay, my name is Sola Oworu, I'm from Ijebu. As a matter of fact, I've been meaning to see you for 2 years, but thank God I'm able to see you today. You must be able to deliver in terms of your pitch, the skillful, dynamic, and innovation. Being innovative about what you do. Finding new ways, of doing what you're doing. I give an example. There is a client we are consulting for recently, currently, and we're able to add 1 or 2 things to what they have been doing. They have an event that's been running, and okay, so we can use QR code, you can use RFID. These are new and latest technologies that, rather than having just we can have a 3D of the stage design, of the entire floor plan, and as we're mentioning, bringing all this innovation is becoming part of time of reference for our work, so a business leader must always learn new innovation, new things that are coming in the industry where you practice, that can set you ahead, visionary, a good planner, don't create a good leaders don't wait for emergency. Don't create emergencies, plan, a good leader plan good time ahead. Excellent communicator have said a lot about this. Good judgment is always objective. Good analytical skill must be a deep person. You don't make analysis based on what African Magic is saying. Your analysis must be based on knowledge, must be based on books, must be based on research, and also your judgment, can be also be subjected to other thought leaders' opinion, in making adequate judgment. Then supportive and caring, you also touched emotional intelligence earlier. Hello, are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me pause a bit at this junction and ask if there are any, we are free to interject any thought, any opinion, question, so that I won't be the only one talking. So let me have a midterm break here. Hello? Does that mean I should go on? No question? No addition?
But now, sir, none. Okay. Or except if you want us to give like a short recap of what we've gotten. But for now, I don't have a question. But if anybody has, you can ask. Or except you want to ask us questions to confirm.
Okay, no question. I would try and wrap up by 5:30. I have another presentation at 6.
Sorry, sir, I have a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, there is sorry to cut you short, sir. There is a popular saying that, not a popular saying though, but some people used to say that some leaders are born. Some people are born leaders. Yeah. And some people are born leaders. They came with all the leadership traits. They have the skills, they have the knowledge, they have the attitude, they have the character too. Can we say, sir, that some people are born leaders? That's my question, sir.
Well, without derogating that saying, I would only ascribe it to the fact that it is a way of appreciating people who have learned to be true leaders, by the way of demonstrating those skill, attitude, and character and everything of leadership. It's a subtle way. In my like I said, without derogating that saying, because nobody can be born a leader. you must start. Those leaders born, did they start talking the day they were born? Did they not grow and crawl like every other person? Suck as a baby, went to primary school? You know, did they teach themselves in primary school and secondary school? You know, so nobody is born as a leader, but people choose, make a decision of, or the ability for the person to handle his or her own life, a direction that leads to be qualified as a true leader, is what can bring such accolades. So it's an accolade rather than, it's not a statement that can be taken like that someone is born as a leader. Everybody must go through this process. Leadership is a journey, is a process. It's not an event, you know, otherwise, you have different type of leadership. As a matter of fact, you can be a positional leader. Okay, for example, the Queen of England that became a queen at 26. She became a positional leader at 26. But the way and manner she could administrate the affairs of the United Kingdom when she became the queen was not the same way she would have been able to administer the affairs when she was 50. You know, the kind of decisions that she might need other people to help her take at that time is not what she needed when she had spent 15 years or more, 20 years, has even been a positional leader, because she became the queen, not because she has worked for it, but because that is that is the style. That is, you know, it is based on it is heritage. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hello?
Yes, sir. I do, sir. I understand.
Yeah, so answering your questions, I'm saying that some people are born leaders. It is rather an accolade to people who have been able to administrate leadership, you know, in a manner. But leaders are developed. Leaders are not born. Leadership is not everybody has the capacity. Everybody has the traits. You know, the innate is now the process of development. You know, like now this program is building leaders. You know, now some people might see that this is a waste of time. You know, but when you look at it, you know, each time you even read a book, you know, on leadership, just check yourself. You know that you must have improved. You know, so leadership is developed. It's not a trait that if it's not, is a latent potential that God has put in everybody. You know, but there are things that you must do in developing your leadership criteria. So those people that you see and people make accolades and say, this is a born leader. Nobody knew what they have done in their private moments. It's just like, how many of your friends know that you are attending this session now? Maybe not too many people knows that you are actually going through this process. But when you now start talking as a leader, or you now have a proper perspective, you have a plan, you know, and you're making some, this guy is born a leader, you know, but people don't know what you have done in the past that is making you, that makes you to be qualified for such statement. I think without, have I been able to answer your question?
Yes, you have, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, I will run through some of the slide. If you have other questions, please feel free to interject me. I hope to be able to finish in another 15 minutes because I have another presentation at 6. Management of trust. Trust is an emotional glue that binds people together. Bishops have to be seen to be consistent, credible, dependable, and reliable. trust is an asset. Your word must be your bond. I've said this before. We're talking about public sector engagement, and people must be able to trust you. This capital of trust that we're talking about, it looks so simple, but it is an asset. I said trust is an asset, and what's an asset? Something that is valuable, something that you keep, as a treasure, So trust is also just like the question that was asked now, that some people are born, people don't trust you for nothing. People trust you for what you have or what you have done. Trust has to be built, So, and the Bible says that he is faithful in little, much will be committed to his hand. So in public, in engaging in business, our word must be our bond. When little, I give an example, I just talked about Oracle, which used to support, should I use the word blindly? Who used to support orphans, organizations that go for them for CSR, they give you support, they give them support. But when they find out that many people rather will not, once they get the support, that's the end of the story, But organizations that they found doing even more than what they have supported them with, keep getting more. So the main thrust of what we're saying now is that for us to get to that position where we aspire to be, we must begin to make people to trust us. We must begin to do things in such a way that if they say this is what people used to do, our own must be different. Let me management of attention. The question of vision is this is a question of vision. Our leadership is capacity to create a compelling vision, translate it into action, and sustain it. I've said that before. Habakkuk 2 also says that you must be able to create a compelling vision and translate it into action where others can follow you. Successful leaders have a vision that other people believe in and treat as their own. Now, you can't be a leader to lead yourself alone. A leader must have a follower. So to qualify as a leader means that you must have people who are ready to follow or believe in what you believe in, who sees what you see, and can work with you in achieving what as you only does not have a capacity to be able to achieve. As a matter of fact, you don't need to be a leader if your capacity can sustain the vision that is in your hand. I'll say that again. You are not qualified as a leader if your capacity can sustain the vision that is in your hand. The room for leadership is at the point whereby the vision in your hand is beyond the capacity at which only you can sustain. And for you to be able to have other people believe in what you are, there must be clarity of vision and the ability, you are the right attitude, the right character for people to trust you, in committing their time. Bible says that a laborer is worthy of his wages. So people who are to work with you, even at their as a leader, must get their own wages. People who commit their resources to you for one thing or the other as a leader must get the results envisaged. Management of self. Leaders do not convincingly present charisma or time management as the essence of their success. Instead, the emphasis is on persistent and self-knowledge, commitment and challenge, risk-taking, and above all, learning. So leadership is not just about charisma, that you can make the loudest noise and people know that the person is around. It's about commitment, self-knowledge, risk-taking, the ability to be able to take risk. It is also it's from knowledge and above all learning. So in a nutshell, a leader is someone that is committed to learning. Okay, let me just touch on um, this management and authority. Power and authority are the creator of good management. Influence is the master of them, you know, and authority, we say functional and operational rights, ability, influence, clout, weight that are used to direct, instruct, and use to accomplish organizational goal. While power, dominant ability, and the right required to exercise, put into effect, authority to influence, decide, control, and cause change. So this is the intersect between power and authority, and it helps you to be able to achieve the goal. And of course, the ability to be able to also influence people, you know, the cardinals, I would say, of true leadership. You can see from here, okay, these are just some video clips of some of our engagement. This was the former Minister of Communication. I've not changed this. Okay, in my final thoughts, as I round up, in Nigeria, public sector engagement is complex because of corruption and the mistrust between business and government. I've mentioned this earlier. You know, government people don't trust business people. Business people or citizens generally corrupt and allegate, you know, or accuse government people of being corrupt. You know, but the government people, even despite some government people are corrupt, they are also looking for credible business people, which I give an example of Oracle, who they have funds to support innovations, they have support in supporting organizations, NGOs, and all of that. But they found out that people don't do what they say. You know, I mean, so now rather than giving you cash, they rather give a promissory note and say, okay, when you have done this, then we can release our cash to you. You know, but we started at a point whereby we run a program that is called the Girls in ICT Initiative. And what we do is that we help girls and young women to learn digital skills and take up careers in ICT. Is also related to one of the objectives of ITU. ITU is International Telecoms Union. And all is just about the crusade of encouraging girls. You know, we use what we call the stakeholders approach, where we look at older women, older girls who have broken the glass ceiling in ICT, who have become maybe directors, who own a company in ICT, to use their story to encourage young girls to go to schools, you know, and encourage and talk to them. Sometimes we look for organizations who can support providing tools that they need, like laptop, phones, and all of that, you know. And we also even make them to interface with this organization and to these schools to see that this laptop that has been donated to us, we don't keep it in our office. It's going to the hands of, and they will give more when they see that, okay, the beneficiaries are also really the beneficiary, you know. So that's why I said trust is something that is built. And in my final thought on this is that we must build trust, you know. I said, however, with the right attitude, skills, and relevant knowledge, Bishop can minimize the impact of unfavorable business environment, unfavorable environment. Now, with the right attitude, with skill, relevant knowledge, we all can minimize it, because we say Nigeria is difficult, things are hard, and all of that. Now, are we also positioned doing, are we getting this right skill? You know, but of course, thank God we're here, you know. We're in the process of learning to walk before running, because public sector engagement also is a function of relationship, you know. You cannot start relating with a PAMSEC that you don't know from anywhere, you know. Sometimes it might happen, sometimes it might not happen, but you can have a level 7 officer, level 8 officer, level 10 officer, 14 officer, maybe they are even your mates, you know. Now, you grow trust and relationship with them as they are growing on the rank. When they get to a position whereby they need to recommend someone to do something. This is my friend who has been doing software. This is my person who has been doing real estate. This is my person that has been into hospitality. This is my person who has been into decoration and has been consistent. You know, okay, we cannot commit. It's just also like the story of talent. If you have not been able to do decoration for a party of 5 people, you know, then you want to do decoration for an event that will have 3,000, 5,000 people in international conference center, you might not be able to handle it. So it's also a function of managing relationship over time, you know, and people know you to know that this man, this lady is a person of integrity. He has knowledge, you know, and is capable, you know. These are what I consider as the major partner of public sector engagement. So at this point, I would open the lines for enrichment and enhancement, other things that I might not touch on, questions, while we quickly deliberate on this in the closing. Thank you very much for staying tuned to this presentation. So the lines are open. Please feel free to make your contributions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that beautiful session. It was more like leadership training for us, if I may say. It was more leadership for us, and then the public sector engagement. Thank you, sir. Before I take our feedbacks, I must say that what struck me the most that you said is, as a leader, you need to have character and strategy. And then you said if there's one that if you must choose character. That was so. I was thinking you need to know what to do. You need to you need to have everything put together to be an effective leader. But it seems like character stands out beyond even the knowledge and the technical know-how. Of course, you said the technical know-how can be gotten in institutes and business schools and all of that. So thank you for the point leaders are made. And there was one you said, I want to put it the exact way, but it's not coming the exact way, and I don't want to paraphrase. So maybe when it comes, I'd also mention that. And initially at the beginning, you mentioned to us that there are 3 types of people in an organization or in a workspace, and you said there are the jobbers. They are just there for the job. My salary increases or not. If my salary doesn't increase, I move somewhere else. And there are those that think like the entrepreneur, like the owner of the organization. And in no time, you used the scripture that says, if you manage that of someone properly, in no time, God will give you your own, or you'll be given your own. That's the good steward. And you also mentioned the 3rd type of people, those are the entrepreneurs themselves, the owners of the organization. So in all, I'm just trying to say that the session was really impactful, and it felt like a leadership training, really beyond the public sector engagement. Okay, I can see here Mr. Appa Thompson is asking a question, sir. Maybe we can take that before we take other feedback. He says, please, I would like to ask how to determine toxic leadership. So, sir, Mr. Thompson wants to know how to determine if a leadership style or a person I don't know if you got the question, sir.
Yes, I got the question. Is that the only question? So I can take them together as
Okay, please, if you have a question, you can signify, you can raise your hand or just unmute and ask your question. so that we wrap this up. Our facilitator needs to leave before 6. So please let's ask our questions quickly.
Okay, to speak to that question, how to determine toxic leadership. Well, Bible says that by their fruits we shall know them. So it is not to be looking out for, because leaders, Bible says that all authority is given by God. God institutes authorities. So first is your mind must be right, and also you would be able to judge by the fruit of that leadership. It must be, if it is outside the consonants, if it's outside the tenet of what God expects, it's already a toxic kind of leadership. For example, a leadership that would want you to go outside your faith and is already toxic. You cannot learn, because an apple cannot produce an orange, or an orange cannot produce apple. So if you are in an organization or an environment whereby what is being practiced would not promote your unity in the spirit, and also cannot promote your being a responsible citizen, is already a toxic leadership. Maybe I will quickly share this as an example. Many years ago, I worked in a company, many years ago, over 20 years, where the owners of the companies, they have so much connection. I mean, so much connection. And, the company gets so much contract, so much projects from government. But the problem the company has that time is that the company does not complete projects. It was so bad that the company has so much litigation in so many courts here in Abuja, so many, either for breach of contract, either for not keeping to an agreement, either for this and for that, and there are other white elephant projects that the company has, projects that has been decided that, okay, we'll not do this project, we'll just share the money. I, for one, I was not trained that way growing up too. As a Christian, it does not resonate with my belief, in seeing those things done. I don't want to go into too much details. Now, this is a company that I was engaged as an expatriate. I did my first master's outside Nigeria. So I got the job while I was away and came to work with them. But I had to leave. I had to leave because if I don't even know what is happening, is a different case, is a different thing entirely. But seeing those things happening, it is toxic. I need to use this to illustrate, but I know maybe if we have a private chat, this person will be able to open up. So I know there is more to this question that this person has asked, So anything that can corrupt your faith, that can corrupt your good works, that can make you to bear, that can make you to bear fruit not according to the righteousness, it is toxic. And fruit, when you talk about righteousness that exalts a nation, is not even just accepting Christ as your Lord and Savior, is doing what is right. So any leadership you are under that will not make you to bear fruit unto righteousness, it is toxic. It will make you to grieve the Spirit, and it will not produce the work of righteousness that God expects in us. I don't know if I've been able to answer your question, at least to some certain level at this, to some certain extent at this level.
Yes, thank you so much. I believe you've been able to Well, I'll touch it at the surface because I was trying to see if. Sorry, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. I also want to say thank you for the delivery of your lecture. More of what I see, leaders, sometimes they put up their traits, their character, you see that in the organization, they run the organization, you see the imprint of their attitude and their disposition to life, and they begin to trample on the emotions of people. They begin to see that they demean people and all the likes like that. But it's good you've been able to give a very good closure to that very question. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Like you said, there's more to that question, but you've been able to give justice to that. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Mr. Lekon, to ask a question. I think you should ask now because we would like to release our facilitator to go for his next meeting. So please ask your question straight up.
Okay. Thank you very much for the time, sir. I really enjoyed the class and very eyes opener. But sir, my question is this, sir. I'm looking at leadership as per public sectors, as in maybe a business and the rest. A man that starts a company on his own, maybe when they are 2 or 3, and the business is growing, and the business has grown so much that maybe he did not realize the company has grown, like to 20 or 30 workers, but still yet he's still treating the workers like they are still like 2 or 3. My question is that because for us now to know, because we may be doing things and think we are right and we are not right, when can one discover that, okay, my style of leadership is not good? I mean, it's not that it's not good. It's not what it takes for that period. When can one discover it? Or how can someone call the attention of the leader that what he or she is doing is not what he's supposed to be doing, without causing any danger or any havoc? Sir, that's my question, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, I need to be clear on this. Are you asking this question as the person concerned, or you are being under that kind of a leadership, or you have someone that is under that kind of leadership that you want to help with this question?
Okay, it's like, okay, let me put this way. I have somebody that is like in that kind of leadership, and he complains often, like everything they are doing is not always like the way it's supposed to be. But they will not, they don't reason with others. They only reason among themselves and think everything is good. So that's it.
Okay, so because there are two, why I ask you again is that there are two sides to it. Now the position of the person in the organization will determine whether he has to go through it as is crossed, or across as a learning curve, or the person can, based on his own position, be able to systematically, because change is one of the most permanent, is the only permanent thing in life, but change also has to be systematic. When you're trying to make a change, it doesn't happen in a day. You have to be strategic about making change. So if the person is in a position where he is capable of making change, he has to systematically, maybe through a retreat, suggesting a retreat into this condition he believes is well for the organization. But if the person is in such a position where he's just a recipient, a receiver, say just a staff or a staff who is not part of management, the person can learn so many things from that kind of who may be able to learn one thing or the other for his own future growth, so that in future it also becomes a yardstick for him to do better when he has other people that is going to be leading. He has been able to see flaws of leadership, and he can also be able to that in future in designing system.
Logged out. I think that was due to network. But once
The network is
he
very static. Yeah,
sorry.
the network is not good, but I think what he said. It's like you learn from it and you can use it for your own personal consumption. If the person refuses to change or to develop his or herself.
Okay,
Okay, great.
I thought he was the thing was okay. I thought I was off completely. Yeah, that's just the summary of what I said. If the person is in leadership, he can work out a systematic change by proposing retreats where those things can be looked into for possible change over time. And if the person is a staff, the person, there is a way you can, there is this concept of half full and half empty. Now we have a glass of water, we have a glass of water where someone else is looking at it as half full. Now, even in the economic hardship or that is in Nigeria currently now, or things that is happening in Nigeria, is making a lot of people to readjust their spending. Is teaching some people who are not financially prudent before to be more financially prudent. Now in such system, the person also might need to change his perspective, of what exactly this means, or what exactly that can promote for him in terms of, okay, let's say the organization does not reward you for extra work that is being done. Or the organization just wake up tomorrow and say, okay, I need this department. But because there is without notice, they say we are moving to another department. Now, you expect that they should give you a long time notice. That, okay, we are going to transfer you from this department to another department. But the management just woke up and say, okay, we are moving from operation to marketing. Now, that decision can translate to the person learning how to do operation. Let's say he was in marketing, rather than being in one place and it's being mono, so that when the person eventually becomes a business owner, he has experience in operation, he has operation in production, he has experience in marketing, he has operation in other aspects, but ideally, maybe the person is expecting that, okay, they should have told me 1 month in advance. I'm just using that as an illustration. So the person might also need to change his perspective, the way he's viewing the thing, But if the leadership style is toxic, if it's something that is life-threatening, of course, I won't advise the person to stay put in that environment, or if that leadership style is leading to compromising your belief system. Those are separate of it. But if it's about work environment that might not be as conducive as other places, let's say the organization does not close well in December, for example. I've been an entrepreneur for over 15 years, so I know different scenarios that can make a work environment not as conducive as other places. Maybe the organization does not give 13-month salary, as other organizations will do, or the organization does not give DTA when the staff travel to other places. So these are even more practical things. We will be available for further engagements, outside this class, for more practical things. I'm so sorry. I need to run. This is 5:53, and my next session starts at 6 o'clock. So I'm so sorry. I might not be able to take more questions, but this is my number. It's my WhatsApp number. It's my phone number. I can be reached at any time. Our facilitator, am I permitted to leave at this point?
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for your patience and the sacrifice. Honestly, we're grateful, sir.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Yes, sir. You too, sir.
Yeah, bye.
Okay. Would anybody like to just give us a feedback, and then we'll round up by 6? We'll be done. So, does anybody want to give a feedback? What you've learned, what you took home from this? Let's just know that this has been a very impactful session for us. Somebody has to talk. Someone has to say something. What's your key point? What's your punchline from this class?
Good evening, everybody. The key point of this meeting is that it's not by certificate or by being, say you are born a leadership is born, maybe you are born to royalty, or you are born with silver spoon, that automatically turns you to be a leader. You have to earn it. You have to be trained, and above all, character must take very important, play important role in how you are described, whether you are a good leader or bad leader. It does. Character is very, very key. That's my own point for now. Thank
you. Thank you, sir. Yes, that's very key. He said something and it struck. He said something about branding. He said leadership does not mean when you're born into a rare family and all of that. It's more of character. And when Mr. Sola was speaking, he said something about branding. And he said, branding yourself, your persona is a very big part of your leadership ability to, what do people think when they see you, at first sight, at first, encounter. He said, yes, there was a part he said that not everybody gets a second chance. Very key, very key. Because I think I have experienced something like that, and not everybody gets a second chance when it comes to projecting oneself. So this class is not just a cliche. Of course, there might be things that we've learned or things that we've heard about before, but reiterating them brings them back to our consciousness. And someone says something, you have to have a source of inspiration at all times. So if this is the source of inspiration, that you hear this again and it pushes you to do to be more, pushes you to use your leadership skill, then it is what you need. It is important. So I believe that this has been an impactful session. Does anybody have any contribution, addition? Because we're about to close now. Anything you want to draw attention to? Okay, I'd like to say this. Please let us always come in. Next week is going to be DDK, Mrs. Debola Dejikurumi. Now, if you understand this, if you know the person, let me just put it that way. If you know this person, you will know that it is very, very, it's not a joke. It's not beans to have her come down or, fix appointments. I think we've had like 3 to 4 appointments with her before this final one. So if she's going to show up, please and please let us come in on time. Please and please. And let us remind others. It's very, very important, because if we don't encourage these people, when we invite them next time, they won't come. They won't show up, or they'll give you excuses. And we are not paying for this. It is free. We're not paying them. I mean, that's a big sacrifice on their part. So let's encourage them. Let's come on time. Let's join in on time. It's online, so you can literally join in on time. Thank you very much. I'm not exceeding 6 o'clock. Let's have a beautiful weekend. Happy Independence to you. And if you were thinking of giving back, to EMP, please kindly reach out to me in whatever form you want to give back. Maybe technically you want to help us edit, whatever ways. We're reaching out. We're reaching out. All right. Okay. Everyone, let's have a beautiful. Yeah, if you can,